Greetings, Mindcrafters, and welcome to another Minecraft discussion on this glorious day in northern Vermont. If you can hear the birds chirping, that's not anything I added in on the video. It's totally real. In fact, I was visited by a cardinal this morning. How cool. Yeah. So anyway, my name is Kimberly Quinn, and I am really excited to talk with you today, about self-respect and like the three common ways of disrespect that people, throw at us during the day, any day of the week. It can happen because they're so super common. And they're not always conscious of it, but that doesn't matter because it's really important to let people know that, because it's a self-respect thing on our end to let them know that. And like my very good friend Father Mike used to say, gotta say what you think, gotta say what you feel, right? Otherwise, gotta say how you feel with honesty and kindness. Honesty and kindness, that's the thing. So the first one for me, I remember Oprah talking about it years ago, is that perpetually late person. So you're waiting there. Again, we're not saying to start off. Anybody can blow a tire, or a kid throws up 3 seconds before they walk out the door, whatever. But those are not common they're common, but they shouldn't be happening all the time. If somebody is perpetually late, and it's just, I had to stop at the dry cleaning and it took longer and somebody got in traffic and I didn't expect a line and all these, then I'm sorry. Because if you would have left yourself a little more time, you wouldn't have been late, right? So, and again, anything can happen once or maybe twice, but if it's a pattern, that person is arrogant. That's just how it is. They are valuing their time more than your time, even though it's through a nicey smile and a litany of apologies, and I just dry cleaning and I was out of milk and. If they were valuing your time, they would have given themselves more time, knowing that life happens and that can happen. So if it's a pattern, that's what we're talking about. So it's really important that if that continues, not the once, maybe not the twice, a bunch of times in a row, yeah, it's time for a conversation, because that will also, they'll respect you more for sure, because people respect strength. People do not respect weakness. And the part where there's an arrogance underlying that. We can't change other people. However, we can change our dance to them. That's what we're talking about. Change your dance, right? So once you kind of pull the blanket, off of their behavior, they're like, whoa, maybe I wasn't aware of it, or maybe they were and knew they could get away with it or whatever. But it's important to say it. Another one, which is a huge peeve of mine, is when you're talking in a sentence and somebody goes on their phone, gets a notification, bing, bing, ding, 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 and they answer it, or they're just texting, and they're just like, you're mid sentence, and they just answered it, or they even pick it up. It's so disrespectful. There's nobody more important than who is in front of you at that moment. The acceptance of that is if you're in a conversation, and this is like the far end, right? Because this wouldn't be happening every day. I have a partner or a parent or a child or a friend who's having a surgery right now, and I'm their backup person, and so I just got to keep tabs on that. Or if I have a sick kid at school, and they said that she was riding the line with a fever, but they were going to call me if I had to come get her. That's like not common. Common, but doesn't happen frequently. That's what I want to say. Common reason, but it's not frequent. It's not every day your kid has a fever and might get sent home from school. We have to be, but they're also letting you know that might happen. All the everyday crap, ding, ding, zip, zing, zing, notifications, is just plain rude, because the person in front of you is more important than anything else going on. Just turn the phone off. Leave it in your glove compartment. Leave it in your desk. Throw it in the nearest large body of water, something. That person you're in a conversation with is the most important thing in that time frame of what the conversation is. And then there's the other one, which is when people just, active listening. I think most of us are a work in progress with this. I know I am, and with my wiring, I humbly admit, with my Fast Mind Club membership, also known as ADHD, but I don't like that it's not even an acronym, whatever it is, label. I work very hard at not interrupting and not thinking about what I'm going to say next. So part of that's to deal with my wiring, and I also just genuinely want to actively listen and be mindful and hear what someone is saying, kind of like tell me more. Does that mean I'm perfect? I don't even like the word, and I don't even, and actually the P word in the house when the kids were little, I didn't even allow them to use it for any reason because it doesn't exist. So they one of them, I forget which one, came up with 99% excellent. So I'd say, how are you, honey? Or, oh, wow, your project went, how'd your project go? 99% excellent, mama. You know, because it's just a word that doesn't exist. So I'm not saying I got it all down either, though I am very, very conscious of not interrupting and not talking over people because, and again, it can happen once and it can happen twice. You can fall off the wagon if you're in the Fast Mind Club, and then you get it and say, you know, I'm really working hard at this. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. And then, you know, show that by continuing to, you know, pause, hit the pause button, delay, wait, respond with some, when it's your turn to talk, with some, you know, sentences that reflect what was just said, so that, you know, it's clear that you listened and that you heard what they said, blah, 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 blah. But if there's that person, if there's that person who sort of consistently talks over people, it's kind of like the late thing. There's an arrogance there, because that's not just a wiring thing, that's arrogance, because what they have to say is more important than what you have to say. And because we can just be excited sometimes. Like you just read an article and it happens to be right in your area of expertise and you're just excited to share. That's not arrogance. That's you're excited to share because it's a kind of more unique situation. We're talking about patterns of behavior. A person who consistently talks over people when they're in the room, gets a little louder, amps it up so they can be heard over other people. They're valuing themselves over the others in the room. And so also needs a call out, you know, like the phone thing. Excuse me, you know, I've done it. I actually, you know how I do the phone thing? I had a manager where a long time ago when I was bartending, and most of them were great. They were all awesome. There was just this one who, without question, was a little arrogant. And he had no trouble just going, you'd be in the middle of a sentence and I would just wait. I'd wait and it was silence for it to kind of, you know, move on. And then he'd be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So, I'm just waiting till you're finished with whatever you're doing. And then it was kind of clear, you know, self-respect, self-respect, self-respect. If it's a pattern that keeps happening, you say, you know, I'd really appreciate it while we're talking if you would put your phone away. And then again, people respect that because you're showing your own self-respect, that you're not okay with being treated that way. It's just not okay. Whatever they're doing is not more important than you when you're in a conversation and you're the one sitting there. That's absolutely ridiculous. It's kind of like call rude back in the day. That's what the comedian Laura LaRoche used to call it. I love her. This goes way back when pre-cell phones, right? When it used to be that beep, and you'd be talking to somebody and say, oh, excuse me, hold on 1 second, I have a beep. That's like saying, or it is saying, I'm going to check this, because back then you couldn't see the numbers or anything. I'm going to check and make sure that this person isn't more important than you. And if they are, then I'm going to be back in a few, all right? If not, I'll be back right away. What the heck? Like, you wouldn't probably verbally say that, but that's what that behavior is saying. In today's world with the cell phones, you're saying the same thing as call rude, checking the text that it might be somebody who's more exciting than you right now. And no, crap, that's just BS. And so then the same with the talking over thing, this is all three of these examples come down to disrespectful behavior stemming from arrogance and them valuing themselves and their time and what they have to say and what they're doing over you in that minute, when you as the person in front of them ought to be the first priority within that given time frame. So it's real important to call those out, 1, 2, 3, with honesty and kindness. Be direct, and you'll be more respected for it. More importantly, you'll respect yourself more for it. Probably get a pretty large dose of self-confidence because you're showing your self-value. And we've talked about that in the past, that when we do something even this big, that's, you know, good for us, you know, in any kind of way, which sticking up for yourself is, it goes into the self-esteem bank. And then it's easier to do it next time and the next time and the next time. And before long, you know, that confidence is really building. And so, yeah, because the thing is, you know, self-respect comes from this deep sense of value of yourself and worthiness, and that's where it comes from. And we put out energy all day long, right? We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So if you want to put out doormat energy, then let people keep getting on their phones and being late over and over and over again and talking over you, because that's what that energy is. It's just this energy of, you know, I don't want to say because you might be upset with me, and I don't want to stir the soup, and you know, and just shoulders back, chin up, eyes forward, look at them in the eye. I really appreciate it if you, while we're having a conversation, if you would turn your phone off or put it away or whatever. And same thing for the other two situations. And stand tall, respect yourself, call people out and when they're disrespectful of you, and that's it. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from the gorgeous Northern Vermont. Have a mindful day.